Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on a very unique concept connected with the planet Saturn, which because of the grace of the Lord Shani or Lord Saturn, I have done this personal observation in couple of charts, like I would say a lot many charts. So I came to this conclusion and I will try to explain this thing to you in this video, and trust me, it's a learning platform where we all learn from each other. So if you find any information which you want to supplement, or if you do not agree with me, you want to contradict me, so please feel free to share your opinions in the comment section of this video. So now friends, the topic which we will be discussing in this video is about the way time influences us because of the grace of the planet Saturn. Now, as we all know that the different roles which Saturn plays in our life, like if you will study Saturn's placement from your ascendant chart, so that placement is going to tell you about that in which specific area of life duties and responsibilities need to be born, which specific area of life the tests and trials are going to be faced. Now when we talk about from the moon sign, Saturn's placement becomes very important because from over here we experience the karmic retribution, karmic rewards, or all sort of karmic repercussions, because Saturn is the planet of justice. Now justice could be delivered good as well in the form of rewards, authority, power. And as Saturn is a planet of justice, so punishment can also come in the form of Saturn tormenting you and giving you all sort of agony for all the wrong deeds, evil deeds done by you. That is the only reason that Sade Sati is always calculated from the moon sign, not from the Lagna. Now friends, when we talk about one more essential aspect of Saturn, because Saturn is the significator of time. Now when we talk about the role which Saturn plays in our life, because friends, if you actually want to build something big, achieve or attain something substantial, so big concrete accomplishments are not done overnight. Trust me, you can assess the time period or influence of planets like Moon, Jupiter or Venus or Mars in your life, like whether in the form of these planets are influencing the specific houses which matters a lot for you at this time in the journey of your life, or you might be going through the Mahadasha of those planets. So you can actually assess their influence in your life, like what I achieved in past 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months. But when we talk about the journey or the influence of Saturn, you have to take into consideration years. Okay, where I have reached in this ongoing Saturn Dasha in the past 3 years, how my past 2 years have been. So that is how you see the way Saturn is working in your life. And in a way, Saturn is the significator of time. I still remember friends this quote from Jim Rohn, that what you ultimately become is more important. Like the way in one of the motivational video of Jim Rohn, he was explaining this thing to someone that why don't you set up a goal for becoming a millionaire? So that person said, wow, you do not have to explain me the importance of becoming a millionaire. Everyone wants to be wealthy. He said, no, you're getting it wrong. Important is what you become in order to get those $1 million. Like we do not want to meet a person who has $1 million stashed in his bank account, but when you open his mouth, the way he talk, the way he behave, the much knowledge he has, that is just of $1,000 worth. So important is what you become ultimately. And in order to become something, time plays a very important role, which is controlled by the planet Saturn. Now friends, over here as well, I want to share one very small reference from my own personal life. Like I still remember, like my family got my Janam Patri, my astrological chart done, made by a very famous prominent priest from one of the holy city of India. Now I forgot, it was Haridwar or Rishikesh. So we were very small, very young kids that time. So I still remember he wrote, he manually draw all the charts, and at the last few pages, out of all the things which he has mentioned, there was one line which I still remember: Bhagya hamesha saath dega. So because of my strong 9th house or D9 chart, that luck will always support him. Now you would not believe, now I will come to the point why I'm telling this story. So because so my moon nakshatra is of Rahu. So that means I started my first dasha with the planet Rahu. Now Rahu is in the sign of Mars. Mars is in the 8th house. So you can fully understand that where I'm going, that what kind of friend circle I used to have growing up in my high school days, in my college days. And that circle and that group was all about always getting into one problem, one fight, one trouble after another. And there used to be so many times that if something was supposed to happen that day, something ugly, something bad, somehow suddenly this thought will come to my mind in the morning that let me take off from school today, let me not go to school today. And during those days, like I am old, so during those days we do not have the luxury of mobile phones all the time with us. So, and after a while, even my friends, they also started doubting me that either you are playing some game with us, or you are very lucky that whenever there is something bad meant to happen, right at the 11th hour, last moment, either you have to go suddenly back to home, or you took off from school, or something happened. Now friends, why I'm saying this thing over here, this story over here? Because if something wrong was meant to happen, for example at 2 p.m, so the thought came to my mind, or there was some energy which forced me, or which changed my decision at 7 a.m or 8 a.m when I was supposed to get ready and go to school or go to college. So the point which I'm trying to make over here is that the component of time is fixed. So there is some event which was meant to happen at that specific time. So over and above that, now friends, over here we say this thing, that the way energies work, if a doom is supposed to fall upon you, befall upon you, basis the yoga you have in your chart, basis the dashas which you have. So why astrology becomes important in those scenarios? Because if you know things in advance and you are doing remedies, then you can actually evade the repercussion or the intensity of the event which could affect you in a negative way. Or there are other ways, like for example when we talk about seeking refuge in some guru, because when we talk about these elevated spiritual souls and guides who come in our life in the form of a guru, so they have those powers that they can actually give you those mantra, or they can actually accelerate your spiritual progress, that you can actually handle those energies. Or in a way, when we talk about seeking refuge in God or divinity or your Isht Devta, so they can help you, they can protect you. But important over here is that there is a component of time which is fixed, because there are so many people who keep on arguing and debating on this thing, that whatsoever way I want to govern my life or shape up my life, I am the controller of my destiny. So trust me, I am an astrologer and I am a professional astrologer. When I read people's chart, it means I am working on their life. And trust me, it's like editing a video. So once you open a chart, the whole, and you have the dasha scheme right in front of you, so it means you have a whole sequence of life of a person. And because these days people provide a short note about themselves, and you can fairly see that these are the circumstances in which this person was born, in this dasha his mindset governed via these activities, these thoughts, that is how his life was governed, his life took a turn. So this is what I'm trying to say over here, that there is a component of time which is fixed. That is what I wanted to share over here via these reference from my personal life or from my consulting experience. Now coming back to our discussion. So friends, like the way I was telling it to you, that when we study the placement of Saturn from the ascendant chart, that tells about our duties, our responsibilities. When we study Saturn from the moon sign, that tells about our karmic events or karmic repercussion, retribution or rewards which need to be faced. There is no evading, there is no escape from that. Now friends, when we talk about the way time influences us, so for that, because the whole Kal Chakra, the whole cycle of time, we study from our moon nakshatra, because whatsoever your moon nakshatra is, your dasha start from that. So we can say this thing, that basis the Vimshotri calculation or the Parashari system, the moon nakshatra plays a very pivotal role. So now all what you have to do is that you have to see first of all that in which nakshatra your moon is placed in, which planet is the lord of your moon nakshatra, and from over there you have to see the placement of Saturn in your chart. I will clear it one more time. So let's say for example, if I will take up my case. So in my case, if my moon nakshatra is Sadbhisha, So that means the lord of the Sadbisha is Rahu. So I have to see where Rahu is placed in my chart. So in my case, Rahu is placed in the first house only. So that means from the first house, I have to see where Saturn is placed. So now Saturn is placed in my chart in the 8th house. So that in itself means that the influence of time is going to influence me regarding the matters of the 8th house, because very soon I will be sharing it with you, all the influences in all the 12 houses. But now friends, you got the whole point, because if you will take into consideration your Moon Nakshatra Lord, and from over there you will study the placement of Saturn, that is going to tell you that in your this life's journey, the way you will evolve, you will grow, you will progress, and what you will ultimately and eventually become in life. That is something which we get to know via studying Saturn's placement from your Moon Nakshatra Lord in your Lagan chart. Now friends, before we will start taking up the case of all the 12 houses reference example, so let's take up 3 celebrity charts which was there in the back of my mind. So even if you will look at here, because these are the 3 common charts which I keep on opening all the time. So if you will look at the chart of Barack Obama, so in his case friends, I have already explained his chart a couple of times on my videos. So his moon is placed in the Taurus, it is exalted, but it is placed in the Rohini Nakshatra. So that means moon is placed in its own Nakshatra. So from the moon, Saturn is sitting 9th from it. So that can be looked at in this way, that with the passage of time, life is going to make him more wise and inspirational for the world. Now if you will take up the second case of Angelina Jolie, so over here you will see that her moon nakshatra, her moon is placed in the 9th house. Her moon nakshatra is Revati. Now the lord of the Revati is the planet Mercury. Now if you will see, from the Mercury, Saturn is 2nd from it. So that means in her life time, the cycle of time will actually influence her on her possession. Her possession, which could be of the values, which could be of money, which could be of the kind of humanitarian acts and deeds she wants to be known for. So values is going to have a strong influence. That is how the time, the cycle of time is going to influence her life. And lastly friends, which is the case of Robin Williams. In his case, if you will see, his Moon Nakshatra Lord is Rahu, and from Rahu, Saturn is 8th from it. And Saturn from over here, if you will see, 8th placement is always a tricky placement. I always say this thing, it's not like that I have this placement so I'm only going to say good things, but 8th, any involvement or influence of 8th house can act as a blessing, can act as a curse for you. Like even if you will take up the case of Amitabh Bachchan, you take up the case of Osho, they all are prominent 8th house people, but there are negative cases as well. But in his case, all of his addictions, all of the kind of mental turmoils he was going through, they ultimately took the toll in his life, and that is how he evolved and he went through with the time. Now that is a different case, that with the passage on cycle of time, it also made him very empathetic towards people going through mental problem, and he did actually a lot of philanthropic humanitarian work as well, specifically connected with the mental health well-being domain. Now friends, taking up all the alignments, like whatsoever your Moon Nakshatra Lord is and the distance of Saturn from it in different alignments is something which we will try to understand now in a very short and concise way. So now friends, let's say for example, if your Moon Nakshatra is of the planet Saturn only, your Moon Nakshatra being Pushya, Anuradha or Uttar Bhadrapada, that can be seen as a very good sign. Now friends, try to understand this thing. Here I'm not going to be talking about distinctive qualities like Pushya means nourishment, or Anuradha means become a devotee, or Uttar Bhadrapada means start doing yoga, become spiritual. It's just like that. The Moon Nakshatra plays a very important role. If your soul has decided to take birth in that specific Nakshatra astral alignment, so that means the Devata, the God which preside over that Nakshatra, the distinctive power, because all the 27 Nakshatras has got some specific power. So that means these are specific unique qualities which will help you in your life's journey. And now friends, when we talk about your like even it hardly matters in which dignity Saturn is placed in your chart. Like I do not care whether Saturn is in an enemy sign, Saturn is debilitated, only if you can learn the essence of the Saturnian qualities of being humble, of working hard, being virtuous. Trust me, Saturn can actually build your life, and like specifically friends, because Saturn holds the power to make you reach the top of your chosen field for influencing masses, becoming a humanitarian, and actually earning, respecting that command. Because friends, if your moon nakshatra is of Saturn, so that means Saturn can actually grant you a unique identity with the passage of time in the journey of your life. Trust me friends, hard work is something from which at least you cannot evade, or you cannot avoid that. Trust me, even the world's richest person, I was watching this video of one of the YouTuber, very trustable, very credible person, and he mentioned this thing over there. He was summarizing the book like written on Elon Musk's biography, that when we talk about so many politicians and CEOs, their secretary divides their day in like 1 hour, half an hour for different priorities. In his case, Elon Musk's secretary, he asks a day to be divided within the gap of 5 minutes, like 5 minutes. So sometimes he even eats while handling any important meeting. So even the world's richest person is all the time working. So work is something you have to enjoy that experience rather than getting tired because of that. Now friends, let's say for example, from your moon nakshatra lord, Saturn is placed second from it. So definitely we have already taken up the case of Angelina Jolie. So that in itself tells about that definitely with the passage of time, Saturn will teach you the lesson of the true essence of possession in the life. Now it will all be dependent on the kind of yogas you have in your chart. Thus, the overall planetary alignment in your chart just indicates a life given to adding and earning values, virtues, respect, honor, command, or it is more driven towards the material possession. So whatsoever your aspirations are, with the passage of time, this is the specific area where Saturn will influence you. Now friends, let's say for example, from your moon nakshatra lord, Saturn is going to be placed third from it. Now friends, this can be seen as a very good sign, because third house or alignment in a way is a true alignment of strength, power, courage, and even the mental strength is also seen from it. And as I have already explained this thing so many times, that when we talk about the top leaders who influences and move the masses, so move the collective ideology, so that is the kind of power which Saturn only holds in astrology. So if your Saturn is placed 3 houses, 3 places from your moon nakshatra lord, so that can be seen as a very conducive sign for that in your life's journey, how powerful you will end up becoming. So that we can see with this alignment. Now friends, let's say for example, from your moon nakshatra lord, whatsoever that planet is, if Saturn is placed fourth from it, now friends, this can be seen as a very good sign, because the fourth alignment, like generally fourth house is considered as the house of the masses, or like the people with the monarchy titles, and the concerns of security and stability is something which we see. So I would say that in your life's journey and with the passage of time, the matters of security will be tested, and this is how where Saturn will influence you specifically in your life's journey. Like either it could make you very secure, or it could actually bring down all the false walls which you might have created around yourself. Now friends, if you will find Saturn to be placed 5th house from your moon nakshatra lord, so now friends, this can be seen as a very good sign, because when we talk about the concerns of dignity and honor, so that is something which we see with this kind of alignment. And also because Saturn is actually the planet of practical knowledge, like wisdom is the domain of the planet Jupiter. But with this alignment, we can freely say this thing, that Saturn can actually contribute towards some concrete development in your life. Because friends, it's not like that the 5th house is only the house which is important for the married people who just want to have progeny or children. Trust me, for a person who is bachelor, lifelong single person, but he has devoted his life to some specific art or craft, so for him, his children is his content and his created work. This could be so many books which that person has published, for which he is known for in the world. So what you will be known for, the things which you will create Saturn will definitely have a strong say over there, and with the passage of time, how substantial creation is going to take place out of you. This is the domain where Saturn will influence you with time. Now friends, let's say for example, if Saturn is going to be placed 6th house from your Moon Nakshatra Lord. So now friends, this can be seen as a good sign, but it comes with a catch, because like whenever we talk about the Dushtana Bhava, there is always a element of surprise which is attached over there. So life's journey will make you timid, coward, or it will make you come out as more strong, more strengthened, more powerful. So those are the areas where Saturn will influence you with the journey of the life, because the Kal Chakra, the way the time, the wheel of time will influence you. Is it going to make you more resilient, more confident, more brave, or the life and all the hardship of the life will break you down, will break your morale, break your willpower? Because friends, see, honestly speaking, we all start, there is a phase, like we all start life with, when you are teenager, you want to win over the world. When you are in your early youth, you are filled with all the energy, but the way you keep on remaining consistent with your goals, with your morals, that is how our life turns out to be. You would not believe, I was just randomly talking to my old school time friend. He got married, he has family, and he's, I don't know, he's in a monotonous job or what, and he was like, now we have lived our life and there's not much now to do. And it's like, what are you talking about? I think that I still have to start all of those my plans and dreams and goals. It's like I've not even started and you're already talking about getting retired. So again friends, this is how we see that what life will make you, what time will make you or will make out of you. So that is something which we see with this alignment. Now friends, let's say for example, from your Moon Nakshatra Lord, you will find Saturn to be placed 7th from it. Now friends, this is a very important placement, because this is going to tell about that your like what you project on others. So your trustability on other people, your relationship with the masses, with the world. Because friends, understand this thing, in the original Kalpurush Kundli as well, it's the 7th house only where Saturn attains exaltation. Saturn is the planet which wants you to be in the crowd, within the masses, and helping other people's problem. He wants to humble down your ego and want you to be of use and of service to the society. So this is how we will see that in the life's journey, your relationship with the world, with the passage of time, with the vicissitudes of the life, ups and downs of the life, hardship and the good memories or moments of the life, is life going to make you empathizer towards the plight of the world, or is it going to make you a very hateful, a very rejectful person towards the global and the world causes? And this is how your relationship with the world is going to evolve. That is something which we get to know. Now friends, if you will find from your Moon Nakshatra Lord Saturn to be placed in the 8th house. Now friends, this is again a very catchy, a very sensitive alignment with the passage of time, because friends, I'll be very honest with you, the 8th alignment of Saturn from the Moon Nakshatra Lord is all about that you will transform time to time. So with every passage of time, like in other alignments, there could be a major curve, like the curve is going to come that a steep slope of growth, of power, of downfall. But with this kind of alignment, all the transformation will keep on coming time to time. But again, in order to dig deep into true universal, secretive, astral sciences and occult subjects, doing some research work or gaining access towards some secretive knowledge and functioning of the universe, this alignment can be seen as a very good sign, friends, because when we actually talk about research, this is not something which is done overnight. This is not like a diploma which you can do in 6 months. Like if you will see the life of all the great scientists and inventors, they have devoted their whole life just focusing on one cause only, one subject, one topic only. So this is how we can see this alignment. Now friends, let's say for example, from the Moon Nakshatra Lord, you will find Saturn to be placed 9th from it, which can be seen as a very good sign. This is a alignment of wisdom, of inspiration and seeking the truth, and actually inspiring the world with your accomplishments. So we can say this thing, with the passage of time, you will evolve and you could become very truthful, very virtuous and very inspirational. That potential and capability is there. Moving ahead friends, now let's say for example, if you will find Saturn to be placed 10th house from your Moon Nakshatra Lord. So now friends, this can be seen as a good sign in this regard, that with the passage of time you hold this potential and capability to build something concrete and substantial, leave a mark in the society with your accomplishment, or this is how the time, the Kal Chakra or the wheel of time will influence you or your action or your deeds. Now friends, if you will find that from your Moon Nakshatra Lord, Saturn is going to be placed 11th from it. Now friends, this can also be seen as a good sign in this regard, that when we talk about our collective influence, like the way we chase our dreams or the way we accomplish things in the life. So this can be seen as a very good sign that with the passage of time, because friends, honestly speaking, 11th house has everything to do with the progress. If I were to summarize, because in the older times, in the older textbook, 11th house been written as the house of the gains and the wish fulfillment, but I would say that in today's day and age, it has more to do with success and progress, being always progressive in life. So this in itself tells about that in whichsoever area of life, if you are honestly, diligently, you have been working hard. Now again, here I'm not talking about that all of your wishes are going to get fulfilled. So Saturn is the planet of justice. Unless and until you haven't earned that, Saturn is not gonna grant you that. But yes, this is a good sign that if you will remain consistent with your efforts, you will progress and you can build something substantial, concrete, or very much prominent in the society with the passage of time. And lastly friends, if you will find that from the Moon Nakshatra Lord, Saturn is 12th from it. Now friends, this is a combination of digging deeper into the psychological universal consciousness. So I would say that specifically this is a alignment which will ask a lot out of you. Like with other alignments, the things can be granted or can be accomplished with ease. But with this kind of alignment, with the passage of time, whatsoever Saturn wants to grant it to you, in the passage of time, it will ask a lot of sacrifice out of you as well. Now again, with the 6th house, 8th house, 12th house, there is always a element of double-edged sword. So this can work in your favor and this can also work against you as well. It all comes down to individual alignment, placements, and what kind of dashas you will go with the passage of time. So this is something friends which I wanted to share as a part of my personal observation, because friends, I keep on watching many videos on philosophy and Greek philosophies and all of that, and everywhere you take up the case of any ancient wise philosopher and all of that, they all emphasize on that the way time influences us, what we build out of our life, what we become eventually is very important. And I used to wonder that we only look at Saturn's role from the perspective of duties, responsibilities, justice, but Saturn is the significator of time and what we build with the passage of time. So time is something which we calculate from our dashas, from the Moon Nakshatra Lord. So that is how I wanted to blend things, and I would look forward to your suggestions, your inputs, and the way you can relate with this discussion which we just did in your own personal chart or chart of your known people. And then please feel free to share your views on the comment section, because your participation also provide a lot of research material to me as well. So this is something friends which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyawad.